Venice is the capital of northern Italy's Veneto region, built on more than 100 small islands in a lagoon in the Adriatic Sea. It has no roads, just canals, including the Grand Canal thoroughfare lined with Renaissance and Gothic palaces. The central square, Piazza San Marco, contains St. Mark's Basilica, which is tiled with Byzantine mosaics, and the Campanile bell tower offering views of the city's red roofs. Well, you must have heard so many things about Venice. Here we are with the top things to do once you've made it to the city. Marvel at the masterpieces, get about in a gondola, then relax with a gelato. Number 1. See 3 major sites in one square. Standing in the middle of the magnificent Piazza San Marco is an experience in itself. Napoleon referred to it as the drawing room of Europe. Apt today, as at times it appears that much of Europe's population is crammed into this great square. But at St. Mark's Basilica, which is often seen as the living testimony of Venice's links with Byzantium, Doge's Palace, once Venice's political and judicial hub, and Tor del Orologio, a clock tower built between 1496 and 1506 that are not just the squares but some of the city's main attractions. 2. Get around in a gondola. No trip to Venice would be complete without a punt down one of the city's picturesque waterways in an iconic gondola. Ah, the gondolas of Venice. Is there a more iconic symbol of this romantic city than the boats that take young lovers and the not-so-young lovers through its many canals? If you go to Venice, you must take a gondola ride. But while it's undeniably romantic, gondola rides can be a little expensive. 3. Tour the Venetian Masters of Art. Venice is a unique and precious repository of art. From the late Middle Ages until the mid-18th century, artists of the highest caliber left their mark all over the city, and works by Venice's grand masters Titian, Tintorito, Canaletto and Tiepolo can be viewed in person today. See Titian's glorious Assumption above the high altar at I Ferrari, Tintorito's epic masterpiece Crucifixion at Scuola Grande di San Rocco, and Tiepolo's monumental frescoes at the Pietà and Carrezzonico. 4. Drink like a Venetian and go on a secret wine tour. To the usual Italian breakfast, light snacks, pastries and alcoholic beverages routine, Venice contributes its own specialities, the Ombra and the Spritz. The former is a tiny glass of wine which is knocked back in no time and is often the whole point of a Giro di Ombre. A Spritz is an aperitivo of white wine, Campari and a shot of seltzer or sparkling water. A sweeter version is also made with low-alcohol Aperol. 5. Get a bird's eye view of Venice. At almost 99 meters, the Campanile is the city's tallest building, originally built between 888 and 912. In July 1902, it collapsed, imploding in a neat pyramid of rubble. It was rebuilt exactly as it was where it was, as the town council of the day promised. Holy Roman Emperor Frederick III rode a horse to the top of the original in 1941. These days, visitors take a lift. The view is superb, taking in the Lido, the whole lagoon, and the Dolomites in a distance. 6. Take a trip down the Grand Canal. The best way to take in the Grand Canal is on board a Vaporetto, Venice's ubiquitous water bus. The canal may no longer be teeming with merchandise-laden cargo boats, but it is still the main thoroughfare of Venice, and only a little imagination is needed to understand its historical importance. The 3.5-kilometer trip from the railway station to San Marco provides a superb introduction to the city, telling you more about the way Venice works and has always worked than any historical tome. Every family of note had to have a palazzo here, and this was not just for the reasons of social snobbery. The palazzi are undeniably splendid, but they were first and foremost solid commercial enterprises, and their designs are as practical as they are eye-catching. 7. Get a taste for true Venetian cuisine. Try traditional dishes from the Veneto like oca in onto, goose in its own fat, or freshwater lagoon fish done in Seor in Antica Adelaide, Get the best polpette or meatballs in Venice at Cardoro and a strong selection of Venetian antipasti, including raw seafood at Vini da Giglio. Be seduced by the contemporary art scene. Venice has a contemporary art scene that lives up to its glorious art history. The Peggy Guggenheim collection of the 20th century masters has long been the city's third most visited attraction, while the Punta della Dogana, which opened in 2009, brought works of contemporary giants including Dan Flavin, Jeff Koons, Jean Tinguely and Rachel Whitehead to the city. 9. Experience Vivaldi in France. For many, experiencing Vivaldi in France is an absolute must. But more discerning music lovers might feel somewhat baroqued out of the predictable programs performed by local groups, whose technical ability rarely goes beyond the so-so and fairly good range. Exceptions are the Venice Baroque Orchestra, a global success, and the Orchestra La Fenice, one of the best in the country. As well as its opera and ballet seasons, La Fenice has at least 2 concert seasons a year. The Teatro Malibran shows the Fenice's programs and also has its own chamber music season with performances by Società Venezia dei Concerti. Meste's Teatro Toniolo also has a symphony and chamber music season. 10. Cool down with a delicious gelato. Most Venetians agree that the city's best gelato is served at Boutique del Gelato, a tiny outlet on the busy Salizada San Leo. Be prepared to be patient though, because there's always a huge crowd waiting to be served. See it as quality assured. It's worth the wait. At Alaska Gelateria, Sorbeteria Carlo Pistacchi is passionate about making ice cream and experimenting with new flavors using only the freshest natural ingredients. Stick to the tried and true choices such as hazelnut or yogurt, or branch out to sample seasonally changing exotic flavors such as antichoke, fennel, asparagus or ginger. 11. Walk in James Bond's footsteps. To the east of Campo Santo Stefano, Campiello Pistani is overlooked by the impressive 17th century Palazzo Pisani, now the Music Conservatory. The place was used for the shootout at the end of the 2006 James Bond film Casino Royale. An earlier Bond film came to blows in the Torre del Orologio. Film buffs should also recognize the Church of San Nicolo de Mendicolio from Nicolas Riog's Dwarf in Venice movie Don't Look Now. Other locations used include the recently opened Palazzo Grimani, where the gruesome final scene was shot. 12. Try on some prison threads. Giudecca's women's prison produces some amazing goods. Behind the high walls of the 13th century former convent on the Fondamenta del Convertit, the 80-odd inmates of the Casa di Reclusiol Femminili or women's prison run a tailor's workshop which hit the headlines some years ago when it came up with the faithful reproductions of splendid 18th century costumes for Palazzo Mocenigo. The workshop continues to produce period costumes for purchase and to hire at the Carnival time, but also does a healthy business in contemporary clothes, sequin-crusted bags, jewelry, and a variety of accessories and cushions in plush brocades, all of which are on sale at Banco No. 10 near the Church of San Giovanni in Bragora. 13. Eat seafood you've never seen before. The Lagoon City has a long and glorious culinary tradition based on fresh seafood. A writhing, glistening variety of sea creatures swims in the stalls of the Rialto and Chioggia markets into local kitchens. Going with the flow of La Cucina Veneta requires a certain spirit of open-minded experimentation. Not everybody has eaten spider crab before, or sea snails, or mantis shrimp, but Venice is definitely a place to try all these marine delicacies out. 14. Slip on a mask and join the Carnival. Carnival, the world's largest and most famous masked party, has existed since the Middle Ages, but it came into its own in the 18th century. Today, visitors to the pre-Lenten event flock to Piazza San Marco, where professional posers in ornate costumes occupy prime slots and wait for the world's press photographers to immortalize them. Venetians, on the other hand, organize private masked and costumed celebrations or gather in smaller squares. 15. Take a waterside bar break. Water everywhere and some wonderful places to drink. The best waterside bars include Al Chiochetto for enjoying the Zata, Vincent Bar for leafy lagoon calm, and Taverna del Campiello Rema for a grand canal perch. Well, those were our top things to do once you're in Venice on a holiday. If you think we've missed out something, do write it in the comments below. If you like the video, do smash the thumbs up button. And for more content like this, do hit the subscribe button. Always bringing you stories that interest you. This is me, Ashish David, signing off. I'll see you in the next video.